I I did not learn to cook from my mother. I learned from eating her food. I wouldn't know if there's a way mothers usually teach to cook, especially if there's like a mother-daughter master class for cooking or something. But I sure know how it has always been in our house is I mean my mom is cooking and she calls you to the kitchen to help her with stuff. And then she assumes you're observing and learning stuff, and all of a sudden one day you're asked to cook and boom, you can cook the food. But frankly, I did not learn. So if that was supposed to be teaching slash mentoring, I did not. All all the times I spent in the kitchen with my mom, I was body present, absent minded. I had a very active mind, so I was probably in some other part of the world doing some sort of adventure, but nowhere close to the kitchen. How I picked up cooking was that I knew how to eat food. So then when I was left to cook food, I would replicate. I would do some sort of thing, maybe if it's rice, boil the rice. When it's time to like make the jollof, to put in ingredients, God knows I have no idea what I'm doing. So I taste food from the beginning of cooking to the end of cooking. That is why I say I eat food raw. I start tasting it every step of the way. And when it gets to the taste, I put in everything until it tastes like something I'm familiar with, and I'm like, yes, I'm done with cooking. And the food I'm familiar with is my mom's food. So anytime I cook, I try to replicate the taste I know. So at the point where it gets to the taste and I'm like, yes, this is something I'm familiar with, so I stop cooking, that's the end for me. What validated, I've always known this, but what validated it was one day one of my cousins, she lived with us at some point. We went to the same secondary school. So when school vacates, she comes back to our house sometimes to spend the holidays, and then we go back to school if it's a long vac. She would go back to their house in Lagos. So after a long time of living with us and eating my mom's food, she visits me when we're in uni, and she eats food and she's like, Toby, who cooks this food? I'm like, what is it? She's like, this tastes exactly like the food your mom used to cook. Who cooked this food? And I'm like, I'm the one. And she's like, then you cook exactly like your mom. And then I knew that, yes, of course, I learned to cook by eating her food. So, yeah.